All right. So welcome to the Truth Tribe. Those of you who are newbies, I want to say thank you and welcome. If you're not familiar with me, I'm Dawn Thompson. I know people have been sharing the links, and so that's awesome as well. This is the tribe where we talk about truth, and we're going to start changing the way we look at things a little bit more, even in the Truth Tribe. So I want to open that up to you when we're talking some of the discussions I'm going to open up to tonight. So I always start these calls letting you know I am sending love from the grid. Every single day I go on the grid, I go into meditation and I go on the higher grid. You all can go there, you know how. If you don't, go on the website. And simply just expect that I am dropping loads of love to blanket all of you now, right now in your lives. It's not a negative, it's not a positive, it's just blessing you all to feel someone is watching over you and protecting you if you think someone's not, all right? And so I love you all and I want you to know that you're all perfect. And so everything that I bring up to you, it's not about you not being perfect. It's just giving you tools and skills to understand why I think you're so perfect and amazing, okay? So as you all know, I go into meditation and I ask my guides and my angels for understanding what's happening. What do we need to hear? What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? And today I got meeting our emotions with openness. And the strong message that I kept getting was we are resisting opening our minds. And we want to, but we're resisting it all at once, right? So it's like we want to open our minds and we want to see things differently, or we want to do things differently. We want to see things from a different perspective, but then at the same time, we're resisting it. And so it's uncomfortable and it makes us scared. So what happens when you're scared? I mean, it's kind of basic wisdom and knowledge here. So I'm not sharing anything you don't know. I'm just going to try and package it easier for you all to wrap your brain around, okay? And so what happens when you're scared? Your worst traits appear. I mean, seriously, right? Like our worst traits appear when we're scared, and they're different traits for everybody, which is fascinating as well, right? And so you're going to find even you're irritating yourselves right now as well as others. So I'm sure a lot of you are finding this, right? Like I'm irritating me, not just everybody around me. And so many lately have been put in this triggered state, these triggered states. And you can't tell me you're not seeing it, right? You just got to look around and you're seeing everybody triggered about everything. And the good news is that it's the best time to sift through it all and start new. All right, so that's the good news. The tough news is that most people don't like it. So what we're going to talk about on good news is that tonight we're going to talk about two planets that kind of are causing extra irritation right now. Why? Because we need it. We literally need it. We need to wake up and open our eyes and our minds and get more open-mindedness. So that's why I'm trying to share that with you, is that it is pushing our buttons to open our minds to see different viewpoints, mindsets, everything for yourself, not to teach others, okay? And so the two planets causing the irritation is kind of what I'm going to review at the beginning, and then we're going to talk about karma. As it keeps coming up, to me, it just seems like a natural thought pattern, but then I realize it's not for other people, so I'm going to explain it. So how do I explain planetary influences if you're not into or understand energy, astrology at all? And you don't need to. So it's as simple. Here's the sun, okay? And here are the planets orbiting around the sun, Earth included, okay? And so it's as basic, if I explain it in this simplicity, is it's like they're all sprinkling on you energy. And some are sprinkling light, sparkly, happy dust, right? And then some, it might be light and airy and light, feels good. Then some are kind of dropping down and they're sprinkling hail. And then others are like boulders dropping on you and they're forcing you to move fast and intense and make major changes very quick. Okay, it's the best way I can describe planetary influence, because everybody's like, what? And planets and astrology, and you don't have to know anything about astrology. It began back in the day. just on talking about energy and astronomy. I mean, the original astrologers really and planetary followers were astronomers. And they looked up and they said, oh, it's sprinkling dust right now. It's time to do this. And it's sprinkling, you know, intensity, right? And time to plant the seeds. It's sprinkling. So they looked at energy and they figured, how is it going to affect us as a tribe, as an energy, as a city, as a person? Okay. That's the best way to describe planets and their karmic imprint on you. So today, you guys, how cool is this? It's a new moon. So if you're up in the sky and you look for the moon, it's a brand new, fresh, new moon. I love it when our calls land on spiritual, you know, planetary shifts. And so tonight it's a new moon in the sign of Cancer. So it's up in the constellation of Cancer. And it's at 20 degrees new when it hit the new moon at 28 degrees. So any of you who do know astrology and you're on this call, check your chart and see where 28 degrees Cancer sits in your chart, and you can look and see where the moon is going to impact you on that new moon. Okay, so let's talk about new moons. What new moons are. New moons are all about, so first Cancer, let me talk about Cancer. So it's sitting in the constellation of Cancer, and it's beautiful. Cancer rules home, emotions, family, security, nurturing. Okay, so why are the beliefs coming up that we need to like shift and get our minds more open? Because the inner child in us is what's being triggered with this new moon and moon energy. So the inner child and how it's being nurtured, emotions, that's what's coming up. All right, and so emotions are coming up right now and they're being asked to look at. So a new moon, when the moon gets on a new cycle. So the new moon represents the end of one cycle, and now we're starting the beginning of a new 28-day cycle, okay? New moon, full moon runs through a full 28-day cycle, okay? So a new moon is when the moon is brand new and we want to make a fresh start. Isn't that cool? We're making a fresh start in nurturing and protecting and emotions and how we feel on our inner child. Your inner child is just your childlike spirit. Like, go have freaking fun, right? We're not. Nobody's having fun right now. We're going to find it, okay? So the additional piece to what's happening in the sky right now is here's the sun and the moon is very close to the same degree. They're both at 28 degrees right now. And so it's in alignment right now with this straight line. And so what's happening is when the moon and the sun are conjunct, it's like you have like this burst of energy, right? Because the sun's bright and then the moon is closed off and it's not bright from the sun, right? And so it's a brand new moon. It's saying newness, it's saying light, it's saying brightness, it's saying start new initiative, taking a new initiative, something new in your life. What do you want to see? This is the best time. So it's an excellent time right now, today, for making a fresh start, okay? Turn over a new leaf, start a new project, start a new job. Those things are really good for new moons. Putting in applications, anything that's beginning fresh and new, very good for you. So it's also the time to start a new attitude. It's also so because it's the beginning of new, people ask me, am I ending or beginning things? It's also a good time to question old habits, right? So old habits, old behaviors, old beliefs. As you search for the new and inventive ways to make progress, we have to let those go. So just acknowledging those is the new fresh, right? Is a new attitude, new beliefs. So today on the 20th, this new moon is opposite Saturn. Okay, so here's the sun, here's Saturn way over here at 28 degrees, and here's the moon at 28 degrees. And so the interesting aspect is here's the sun and here's the moon. What's happening is this perfect alignment. It's a perfect straight line, right? And Saturn is the serious planet. It's intense. It wants truth. It wants security. It wants foundation. It wants you to pour the best foundation you can for the house before you build it. So it says, be honest, be truthful. Look at the facts. And then the new moon is like, let's go. Let's start new. Let's start fresh. Let's build. And so I want you to understand this new moon should feel more fresh and enlightening and invigorating with this sun energy. But it's feeling why all of you were saying, I feel like I'm locked up, because it's feeling like we're a little bit melancholic, little restrictive, right? So it's kind of putting tests on you. and challenges that can make you feel kind of frustrated, pessimistic, and held back. This is when you were all at the beginning of the call saying, I feel like I'm a little bit hermitish and I kind of lonely and depressed. This is where it's coming from, because the moon has been working its way into this alignment, and it's like, I want to start new. And the Saturn says, but did you do the right thing? Did you make a plan? Did you schedule it? Did you plan a good foundation to build this on? Are you going to build this new thing on a cracked foundation? Or are you going to build it? And so the inner us inside, our emotions, which moon rules emotions, is having this push and pull, right? So the best way to deal with this, like, it's kind of making you feel like you're repressed. You're repressing all the emotions back, even though you're supposed to put them out. So it's kind of this in and out pull. It won't last long because the new moon is, you know, a 48-hour window that you'll pick up. Best way to deal with this influence is to kind of work hard on patience, determination, and persistence. Those are the words coming through right now of breaking open what isn't working and what you're letting go of and saying, all right, what is my new fresh approach? So the new moon, to focus on basics, you know, I like to keep everything super simple and basic, right? Is to tackle one thing at a time and start with the most important task. All right, so be patient, avoid taking unnecessary risks right now, just for a little while, for a couple days, and don't react to this provoking energy. Provoking you to provoking you to do this, to provoking you to say something. There, people will poke you right now because they're scared and they're triggered. I just said it, right? And so you have to struggle in warrior mode. I know you're all struggling. I'm not debating it. It's why I'm having this call with you all tonight. Everyone's struggling. And what we're struggling with is getting back to our badass warrior mode, right? And now there's other planets. I'm going to bring Mars up next week because Mars is so heavy intense right now. And Mars is the warrior planet, but you all have plenty of warrior going on. Right now, I'm trying to make sure you're addressing the emotions and that hermiting and the depressive, kind of almost sad, heavy aloneness feeling. That's why. It's pushing you into that sense of restriction and imprisonment to make you look at your shit, to look at your stuff, to look at your heavy dogma karma. So the best time for starting new projects is during a new moon. So start thinking through it. What do you want? Laying it out there, projecting it out. What do you want? That's what a new moon says. What would you like? Let's start fresh. Okay? That's the new moon. And it's normally it feels a lot more lighthearted and fresh, right? But it's being pulled on from Saturn, and Saturn is the sheriff, hard knocks, hard lessons, lay the foundation planet. And so it's kind of like making it not as fun. It will lighten up as it pulls away in the next few days. Okay. Number 2 aspect that is affecting us right now. It's not a planet, and I brought it up last week and I felt kind of bad because I rushed through it. It's Chiron, and Chiron is kicking all your asses right now. And I need you to respect Chiron, acknowledge Chiron, and see it. I mean, see it, damn it. You guys literally need to hear me. You need to hear and go, okay, if it's just that word, that planet, it's not a planet, it's an asteroid, okay? So let's talk about Chiron. Chiron is sort of this cosmic contradiction, okay? Why is it a contradiction? Because I want you to consider Chiron is considering it's both our childhood wound and our biggest superpower at the same time. And that's another thing you're all feeling right now, right? So interestingly enough, when I think about Chiron, I love Chiron. It's one of the 4 hotspots I teach to look at in your chart. Why? Because Chiron's glyph, when you look at it on an astrology chart, looks like a key, little blue. It's typically blue on most charts, unless you're doing a black and white chart. But it looks like a little blue key. And if you take a moment to kind of reflect on, all right, what does Chiron look like? And what is its significance to all of us? And if you notice, it's like it can ultimately unlock the greatest gifts from the universe for you, which I keep telling you, if you just look at your planets or look at your chart, the universe, heaven, source, energy is going, look, just like for Chiron, this is where your superpower sits. And we're avoiding it. We just don't look, right? And so I guess it's like, nothing is a coincidence. You all know I believe that. Nothing is an accident. And so if you think of it right now, depending on where Chiron is sitting in your birth chart, for me, right now, Chiron also up in the sky, sitting in the sign of Aries, the planet of war, the sign of war, assertion, aggression, drive. Okay. And so where it's sitting right now is in Aries. And so where it sits in your chart is somewhere else. That's going to affect both of them. Okay. But the point being is where it's located in your birth chart can also help you determine where your superpower lies. So you have a superpower, that's where it is. All right. So along with your biggest wound. So Chiron is the wounded healer. It's where we're wounded as a child. We're here to heal and teach and empower others as adults. Okay. So, however, we actually have to rise above this pain, okay? And the feelings of inadequacy that we have from Chiron before we can reap its benefits. And Chiron is in Aries right now, and it went there in February of last year, of 19. It just moved. It was in Pisces for 8, it goes like 8.5 to 9 years per sign. So it takes a long time to orbit through a sign, a constellation. And so it started in February in 2019. So clearly it's going to be there for like 9 more years. And so it's going to challenge all of your personal identities in Aries. Self-confidence, Aries rules self-worth, self-confidence. It's going to push basically your general sense of self. So why everybody's feeling this right now is because that's where Chiron moved and it's staying there. And somewhere in your chart, it's pushing you to find that power. So this is a 9-year-long transit. So don't think that this part of you is going to get any lighter. It's going to force you to find your self-worth. I teach self-worth for a reason. That's why I brought it up tonight. I need you all to start finding your beautiful, amazing value. I mean, it's crazy because I can't see anything but amazing in all of you. We look for our weak spot. I look for my own weak spots all the time. So it's not anything that's not human. It's just the way it works, right? So it's going to help you tap into all of your individuality. It's helping you confidently move towards your personal mission. What is that? We all need to learn how to defend ourselves somehow right now. And I don't mean just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, defending our desires, again, I empower all of you all the time. You don't have to force other people to think and be and have what you want, because it doesn't matter. They don't want what you want. But at the end of the day, we are all warriors. And with Chiron in that warrior sign, we're all here right now to be completely and authentically ourselves, no matter what. All right. And so not to make others accept you, but for you to accept you. So it's time to find the hero within, okay, within yourself. That's what this moon and Chiron are asking for all of you to do right now. I know you can feel it because I can feel it. I've been going through it. Step into your superpower to override the pain that you're feeling. And with one of the big things I'm going to bring up right now that's happening globally, the whole planet, not just in your home and your city and your career, your business, or your family. Stop comparing your pain to others' pain. That's what they're asking you to do. Look at you, not out there. Why? Because your pain is no worse. You deserve, it's like everyone's like, well, my pain is worse than your pain. And everybody keeps thinking like that they deserve a bigger pain medal. And my answer is, it's dumb. All pain is pain. Okay? And so as you can tell, I get so worked up about pain. Because everybody's comparing their pain. My pain is worse than your pain. He was sicker than she was. They fell down and got worse than you did. They had it worse than, enough. Okay? So I get really worked up on this topic. Why? It's because people are comparing it all the time, and it's not a competition. It's simply a choice to fight like hell to get out of it, to get out of your pain. It's that simple. So stop doing stupid things that you know are stupid that you shouldn't be doing. That's Saturn. That's why I'm trying to share with you. Saturn is saying, you know the truth. You know you shouldn't be doing that stupid thing. And the moon's going, come on, let's go start something new. So they're playing you to look at both sides of you. And when you keep holding on to painful things, it's in fact a choice. Nobody else's fault, your choice. Now, please don't misunderstand me here on this. I don't want you to misunderstand grieving and time to process. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm addressing ongoing years of pain that you refuse to address that is in fact your own bullshit. Totally yours. And I'm guessing all of your BS is appearing right now because it's for you to review right now as well. And the reason I know this is because the planets are forcing everyone to do it. Does it make it right or wrong or good or bad? No. But when I'm sharing with you all of this tonight is because stop ignoring it. That's the bigger piece. Many of you guys on this call, and I know a lot of you have been doing a lot of self-work and self-development work. You've mastered mind and body. But spirit has been neglected and it is begging for your attention. And I don't mean soft woo-woo spiritual, kind of stuff. And I don't mean one is right or wrong or better or not. What I'm talking about on spiritual, what I mean is the tough, hard bullshit that is on the spiritual path of empowerment. Listen to the word empower, in power, right? I want you guys to think of this. Give power, warrant power. That's empowerment. All right. It means accepting responsibility for the power that you embody in your body. You worked on the body, worked on the mind. Now bring the power in. That's transformation that we're all here for. Okay. So again, a good example, someone said, is it to defend ourselves to ourselves? You don't even need to defend yourself to yourself. You just need to say, this is what I love and this is what I'm going to do. Or this is what I don't like. So I'm going to do something different. And tell them. You don't have to tell them to change. They may not want to change right away. Everybody wants to change. They're just afraid of it. Everyone on the planet is freaked out right now. Don't be. The planets are forcing you to freak out so you grow. So we get to this ascension that I keep talking about and teaching you all. Okay, so my example of Chiron in Aries is healing. And I got to give it to him. I have this brilliant husband who he asked me a few days ago after I'd given a social media post, right? And sometimes I ask him, I'm like, okay, the way I worded that, what do you think? Did you read it? And how did you read it? And it's funny, he asked me, did it feel authentic to you, Dawn? And I was like, well, what do you mean? And he's like, well, would I say it that way to him? Right. And I thought about it and I was like, oh, he's right again. He likes being right a lot, right? Which is great. I have no problem if he's right because it helps me. And so I thought about this, the way he was explaining that, like, would I say what I just said, the way I printed it, the way I say it to him? And I realized I'm much harder on my private clients and him than I am on social media and to all of you. I'm much softer with all of you, okay? And that's not what any of you need right now at all. So I had to kind of dig into this whole Chiron stuff going on, right? Which is my superpower that's surfacing right now. And I have a personal Chiron in Aries. So Chiron in Aries is sitting on top of my Chiron in Aries in my natural chart, in my personality, and it's poking me. And it's been pushing my buttons hard. It's pushing a lot of you. It's just in different areas, right? But for me, it's like a double whammy. And so this Chiron superpower is having, for me, the courage to speak truth to all of you all the time. And so there's a lot of me that would seem that you would need nurturing and protection, because there's a part of me that I kind of lose myself in that area sometimes, right? Where I want to protect all of you and I want to nurture you and I want to make it feel better because I don't like to see people in pain. It's hard for me, right? But you don't need that. You don't need that, Dawn, right now. You need to be reminded and remedied daily. Reminded daily, I want you to crack your soul open, to find your fear, to finish them and move those fears to the next playground. And I mean playground because it's time for us to start having fun, right? So vibrational frequencies are in every soul. Every soul you look at on the planet that you encounter, you walk by, every soul you meet, and every personality, every astrology chart, your personalities, it's how you understand you through a vibrational frequency, okay? Not wanting to see your own wounds is also you, okay? Not wanting to address the bullshit suffering as painful memories or actual experiences happening right now. I know it's crummy, but it's necessary to get to the other side of joy. And so here we are. And what's happened is I've showed you that we're all ascending. Here's the planet. And then we have these grid lines wrapped around the planet, and you're standing on the grid lines and we're all raising. Well, some of you are rising to positivity and neutrality and courage and acceptance and love and affirmation and trust and forgiveness. And it's leaving behind this heavy, dense energy that we don't like. You don't like seeing it. It's a lot of the crap that you've all been revealed to lately, like, ooh, that's bad, heavy, negative, really dead energy, bad stuff. Does it make it yours? No, but it means you have to rise above and stay lit. This is the lighthouse stuff, okay? So some frequencies aren't yours, and they may not be in your chart at all. This nature nurture personality, you may not have learned it as a child, and you may not have it in your chart to learn, but it's typically, and I'm going to bring this up, typically, most of the time, it's from past lives. And this question's been coming up several times lately from people asking me about past lives. What does it mean? What are they, Dawn, right? And it's why we can't get over them. It's why we keep repeating certain things in our lives, because we've repeated this past life, right? And so what are past lives? They're simply loops of energy, okay? I call them infinite loops because it plays infinitely until you actually address it. All right, and so we have many lives, right? And our soul, if you understand that, whether it's from a religious or a spiritual perspective, is eternal. And the soul has experienced infinite lifetimes, okay? And so it's why I do the infinite loop meditation. Those of you who are getting, those of you who have worked with me privately, the infinite loop meditation, again, you all know it's on my website. You can repeat it, do it over again to go catch on what infinite loops you might be playing that are past lives that you're not able to see. I'm not a big fan of actually looking at the past lives because I don't think we actually need to see it. We just need to end the energy that we're playing. Those of you who are newbies, go get my expansion 2020 on the website. It'll unlock that meditation for you. So, but those of you who aren't aware of or interested in past lives and you want to know more, it's energy that we replay. It's the best way I can describe this to you, okay? Energetically. It's energy that we replay until we learn how to override the system and complete that karmic lesson. So this is infinite loop of energy, okay? And that's complete. It runs in and out, in and out. Well, sometimes we run energy and we skip a beat and then we play it again and we skip a beat and we don't complete that energy. So we keep replaying that energy and lifetime after lifetime because it's something we haven't resolved, we haven't completed. I have actually someone on this call that is just telling me they're getting certified on past life regression energy. When she does, I'll let you know and I'll give you her info and you can go to her to actually, if you want to do a real past life regression energy. Just not something I'm interested in all the time. The second energy is the world-renowned psychiatrist, Brian Weiss. He explains it so well if you want to read a book about it. And it's called One Soul, Many Bodies. One of my other favorite books. Love this book, love his work. It's so brilliant and it's so quick and so simple. But again, I digress, okay? So we have an infinite number of lifetimes to achieve godlike, Christ-like, source-like energy, okay? So you can all become unconditional. Right now, I'm going to tell you, many of the people on this planet are not real close. Why? Because they're playing out some very dense, dark, heavy energy. I hope they're just dipping and they're going to come back up, but we don't know, okay? And so what happens is then you're going to have to come back again and replay a new life and replace it with understanding and love and joy and acceptance and understanding, okay? So we keep repeating this until we can get more God consciousness, source consciousness, unconditional love word, okay? Love consciousness. So we can ascend into these higher dimensions, okay? You all have a choice to play in the sandbox of your choice. So how do I describe past lives in a basic reality check? Okay, simple. These are like playgrounds. So I want you to imagine that you're like going down the street you all live on right now, okay? and you're all going to go down the street that you live on the planet. There's all the grid lines of all the highways. But right now, just you walk down your street and you get to the intersection and there's a sandbox there. And there's a sandbox at every intersection you get to. Shall I stay and play in this sandbox? Or shall I find one that I like more? Do I like the people in the sandbox? Or are they mean and throwing sand at me and we're throwing sand at each other like two 5-year-olds? It's that basic. That's karma. And that's repetition of energy. You sometimes get stuck in a sandbox that isn't very nice. And you just get used to it. You get used to them throwing sand at you. You don't even like that sandbox, but you stay there and you repeat it. Okay? That is how we simplify karma in the best way I can. So there are playgrounds of karma on the intersections of this planet, okay? But they're not only on our planet, they are also on the higher dimensions of intersections, right? So if you can imagine that these grid lines, longitude, latitude, expand out into the universe and multiple universes, and it keeps going, okay? And so on these grid lines in the universe that you can't see, nor do you need to, but imagine there's sandboxes on all of those. All right, and so in these higher dimensions, it's simply, we choose to repeat or complete. It's that basic. So we either repeat playing in that sandbox we didn't want to play in, with those people we don't want to play with those experiences we don't want to feel anymore. It's simple down to health. Why does someone come in and have this bad health that you know that they could work through healing wise, spiritual wise, emotional wise? But when they quit resisting what it's teaching them, the health gets better. And so you don't want to listen to it, it won't get better. It's that simple. So you're going to keep playing in that sandbox and it might be multiple lifetimes. That's karma. Or you go, no, I really do want to get better at this. I suck at it and I'm going to get better at this. So I'm going to complete it and I'm going to figure out how to get to a better sandbox that doesn't implode on me every time in that energy. Okay. And so there are infinite playgrounds that you choose. You decide the infinite loops of consciousness or paradigms or doctrines, shall I call them, that are being revealed to replay, or you burn it up in the infinite loop meditation I do to give it finality and give it completion. So understand paradigms, guys. Simply said, they're programs of energy. Okay, you get programmed into this energy brain set, the mindset, the belief to think that thought, do that experience, and have that moment. So understand that paradigms are, some are higher consciousness scale and some are low. Okay, so when you're playing all these infinite loops of energy, they have consciousness energies in them. Okay, and you can see it by watching people's actions. That's how simple. Go, well, how do I know what karma is? Watch their actions and you'll know what karma they're playing. All right, and so if you're watching their action and you want to know what karma they're playing, simply look at what they need to complete. If they keep doing this over and over again, you're like, God, that sucks. You're there again. Well, they're repeating that karma and they clearly need to address it. So love, acceptance, willingness, neutrality, courage. Is that the karma and sandbox that they're playing in? That's a good one. I want to stay in that sandbox. Or is the programmed belief lower consciousness? Anger, pride, what are they? Fear, guilt, shame, anxiety, hate. Hate's a big one right now. Blame's a big one right now. You see a lot of sandboxes on a lot of intersections with blame and hate. It's not a good karma. It's a karma that they're at that place to complete. Don't get mad at them. Leave them be. I've told you this. Let people play in the sandboxes they need to be in. You remove yourself and put you in one that you do want. Okay, so some energies and consciousnesses feel good, sandboxes feel good, and some don't. That is the energy of karma. See it or don't is your job as a human to complete it or not. Okay, so how spiritual you are, religious, spiritual, open-mindedness, which is what they were telling me, is not about your beliefs, and it's more about how conscious or awake you are to address your programs. And I hope you all understood what I just said, how awake you are and how do you want to look at your Chiron and your moon and go, ooh, that's where I'm wounded. I don't want to look, but if I look, it's where my superpower is and it wakes me up. It's that basic, okay? That's how you address your programming. All right, so you can only expand yourself and your expansion energy, which is all I teach is expansion to get bigger in some way, You can only expand as high as your heaviest space. Okay, so your heavy energies and your heavy consciousness is, if it's in pride and anger and desire and fear and grief and apathy and shame and blame and anxiety, you got to clear that first before you can keep rising and expanding. Okay, so the shadows that you like suppress and that we were saying that you push down and you keep avoiding is what you spiritually avoid. And what you avoid is your choice to not look. It's avoiding, like I taught you guys in last class last week, taking chemistry 5 times. If that's what will undo your blocks, like me, I hated chemistry and I couldn't pass it, but I kept taking it because I'm gonna pass it, right? I had to pass chemistry. It sucked. It was hard for me, but I did it anyway. I did it because I knew it'd make me better. And I knew whatever wasn't clicking, I had to find a way to make it click. It's the same thing with your spiritual and your heavy darkness and your truth. Okay, the shadows that you're suppressing. Spiritual derailing is what I'm calling it. When you spiritually derail yourself, it's avoiding what you don't want to deal with. Okay, so many of you dealing with pain right now, you're like, oh God, source angels, help me. Why aren't you helping me? That's what people are saying, right? That's what I'm hearing. And I'm like, God is asking you to do it again, right? That's what God's saying. Go do it again and again and again until you become more confident, and so confident that you become the master. Seems so basic, right, guys? Do the shit you don't like until you're so good at it that you're the master of it. Seems kind of cut and dry, right? So spiritual confidence is from the acceptance of your humanity, your body, human body. And it's your purpose that kind of empowers your body, mind, and spirit. And so if one of those areas, body, mind, and spirit, needs completion, go do it. All right? But all of them are necessary for oneness. One whole, complete soul, body, mind. And it's up to each of you to play in the sandbox of your choice. How do you do that? It's simple. Decide your end game and then back out. Most people go, this is what I want. Okay, what do I gotta do next? What do I have to do next? I want you to go out here, pick what you want, and then start backing out piece by piece by piece. Focus on the future, pick what you want. Now fill in the blanks backwards to your now, and then let go of the rules and start walking. You've given yourself a plan. The sound is also another thing that simplifies this. This is why Truth Talk came up a while ago. And that's all on the website too, guys. It's in the toolbox. It's actually in the relationship toolbox. If you guys are looking, everything's in tools, okay? Sound amplifies. When we hear, it's funny, you know the universal sound of God? All religions say it. Ah, Buddha, Krishna, Allah, God. Ah is the sound of Amen. It's a sound of love. It's a sound of ah, an O, ah. And so if you think about this, we're all utilizing this energy. Speak out a vibrational truth, you will make it real. New moon. I'm trying to incorporate this for y'all, you guys tonight. So this is what I do daily, okay? This is why I do Truth Talk. I literally have a dry erase marker. I almost said Sharpie. I do not have a Sharpie. I almost said a dry erase. I have a dry erase marker in my bathroom, and I literally will write extra stuff on Truth Talk that I really need to be honest with myself. So this is having honest conversations with yourself about, like, these are my wounds and I don't like them and I'm going to address them. Not about hurting anybody. Do it for you. And so I've had this dream of having an I Deserve It center. You know, that's just an easy place for all of you to go, to feel free to be you, right? My tool and my superpower is validating people, making you feel so validated in who you are, what your soul is, looking at your astrology chart and going, look at how badass, amazing you are. It's a superpower. I can see you immediately. Easy for me, okay? And I've dreamt of this place, this beautiful holistic healing place for you all to go to. I gave a picture of it to my builder husband to build it for me and make it real, right? And guess what happened? This was this year, this is the next 2 years that I had in Mark in place, right? And then this happened, the universe shifted us and said, no events over 50 people. So I could have taken the hit and I could have taken it down and I could have said, oh, poor me, which most people do on all versions. I don't care if it's pain or sickness or a career break or breaking it down. And so I could have said to the universe, this sucks, poor me. Instead, I was like, all right, well, it's a universal detour. Okay. So I'm going to reset how I get to it. I'm going to guide it. You know, how do I guide anyone to this I Deserve It Center that there's an adjusted version, right? And so now I put it on paper and I have its contents and I know what needs to go in it and I know daily what needs to get built in it. And so why don't I do it on the timeline? So I did, and I backed it out of what I would want it and how it went. So it doesn't stop the train, guys. It's just that we're moving on the timeline and we're online. And so I thought, I'm just going to move this I Deserve It Center online until I can turn it back into a functional location. And that's what happened. And that's what's in the making. And until this building is ready, we'll put this digital I Deserve It Center, a foundation and a building for you all to walk through until the real one's built. And so then I go and do what I need to do right now, right on my list of to-dos to keep working through that. So then when the digital version is ready, it's ready to implement in the physical version. Am I going into warrior mode? Yes, I had to warrior through that. I had to get off of my anxiety that I get sometimes because I overextend myself and I try to do too much. I know that about myself. Do you? Do you know what your weak spots are? Do you know where you get yourself tripped up? Do you know what bothers you? I did exactly what I suggested to all of you tonight. What is nurturing my soul? What ignites my superpower in Chiron best? All right. So I've shared with you a bit just to get kind of the next phrase, right? But I've shared with you all that I have a bit of a sailor mouth. I know I do. And so now I don't, I at this point in life, I don't care, right? If you struggle with cursing, cover your ears on those parts, right? This is the truth tribe. And it's time for me to be more aggressive with my truth, which allows all of you to replicate the same courage and strength of your lighthouses to become unmoving. All right, it's time for you to call you out on all of your crap and wake you up and go, it's okay to look at your crap, and go, it's okay to look at it. Because I don't want you to hear, you know, but I want you guys to not get immobilized in fear and anxiety anymore, because that's what's happened. Y'all got locked up in this fear and scarce mentality. It's not true. My superpower is to raise all of your self-worth. That's it. And I see all of your superpowers, and I see you all in positions that you're here to fill in this greater collective of consciousness. Remember, it's like this blanket of energy. You are all a puzzle piece that fits. None of you are non-essential. You're all essential. And I'm not going to back down on this anymore, right? I'm going to do this authentically. So you might hear me roar now and again a bit more. I'm going to get a little more aggressive on you. And so when I get in aggressive mode, I tend to drop some cuss words. You're not going to be offended. You're not going to be upset about it. But someone recently on social media had expressed she was disappointed with so much of the happiness cult out there hurting those who are grieving. So I want to be very clear with all of you, as I was to her. Okay, this is not a happiness cult and or tribe. This is your expansion tribe, which requires truth. Okay, constriction keeps you guys small and locked up, but focusing on the big picture once you've declared a plan can get overwhelming. That's what's scaring everybody. If I pick something that I don't know now, since we're clearing all this crap and we have time, what do? And so living in the now is the best way to get there, but living in the now is hard when I'm telling you to look at the future, right? So the tool I use, I'm going to give you my tool. It's what I'm using right now. It's called the 30-minute now. All right. The 30-minute now. And it's what I focus on for 30 minutes, every 30 minutes. Right. And so then I focus on what I'm going to do. I have 30 minutes to focus on that. And then I go focus on it again for 30 minutes if I need an hour. If it's something else, I'm here with all of you. You're all getting me for 30 minutes. And then at 30 minutes, I recheck and I'm like, okay, 30 more minutes. And then 30 minutes later, I might be eating dinner. I'm going to eat that for 30 minutes. I'm going to focus on food and what I'm doing and what it tastes like. And I'm going to do that for 30 minutes. And your 30 minutes starts turning into 30 days and then 30 weeks. And all of a sudden you get closer to these goals of yours because you're not focused on not getting there, but you're not so overwhelmed by all that it would entail to get there. Okay, so I want you to start focusing on this 30-minute goal. All right. And this 30-minute goal is the 30-minute now. And the reason I bring that up is because we're not supposed to not keep planning, and we're not supposed to not move forward because they keep telling you to shut up, be quiet, stay inside and don't go and talk to anybody. And I say bullshit. I'm calling BS. All of you have the ability to break out of these old patterns. You are all being asked to break open right now. Break your soul open. Pick something that you want, authentic to your truth. What is your superpower? And go. Now, again, do it in 30-minute increments, not feeling overwhelmed that you can't get there. My husband just reminded me of this afternoon. He's totally right. Again, he gets the I'm right again award, but he's good at that for me. And we all have someone in our life who does that for us. Okay? So let's go over what I covered tonight. I'm going to bring Bonnie on. We're going to try it again tonight. And Bonnie, I'm going to bring you on, and we're going to talk about questions about tonight of those two planets and karma and how it's surfacing. You all can watch karma resurfacing right now. We're just not going to keep replaying it. We're going to burn it. We're going to complete it. We're going to move forward in new energy. That's what's happening on the planet. Okay. Tonight's tips: new moon and Chiron. What are your new superpowers? Okay. What are those new superpowers for you? You got to look for them. I've done this a long time. That's why I know where mine is. Okay. Number 2, what are you avoiding? That's where the superpower comes in. All right. What is tough, but you know it's going to free you? That's what we talked through, right? What is the karma, the sandbox you're playing in? And you have to be honest with Saturn over here and go, all right, truth, not good for me. That sandbox is danger. It's drama and trauma written all over it. Okay. Another tip: plan your end game and work backwards, and the 30-minute now. It's the 30-minute now plan, right? You're doing this right now, but you're going to give yourself 30 minutes. I know the whole now plan, do this for a minute. I don't do well with that. I'm like, I can't do nothing in a minute. Like, I got stuff to do, right? So the 30-minute now plan. Okay. So that's what we covered. My big question for all of you is, what scares you? I want you to write that down. What scares me? And I guarantee your Chiron's going to be hovering somewhere over that energy, and it's trying to get your attention to heal the childhood wound. Period. It really is. So I'm gonna go invite someone on here real quick. I'm going to invite a friend onto this discussion and see if we can get ourselves to the next level. All right. So let me see if I can get Bonnie to join us tonight. There she is. All right, Bonnie, hold one second. I'm going to join the video and I'm going to unmute you. So if you can unmute yourself, Bonnie, and join the video. We did it.
Hi.
Hi, Bonnie.
Hey. Hi, everyone.
Can you turn your volume up? Can you turn your volume up?
It is up all the way.
Awesome. I hear you now. Thank you.
Got it?
How
Hi.
are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So as we do always when I can make this course work, which is so awesome tonight that we've got this going on.
I know.
But when we do the consciousness chat time, I want to ask you, like, was something in the call tonight that came up for you? Is it one of the planets that's affecting you, or is it something totally in general and off the topics, and we're open to those too? What's coming up for you? Maybe that will help people.
Well, I'm with you. My chart is the same as yours right now.
Is it? Yeah.
The Aries.
Yes. Chiron and Aries.
Yes. So I kind of felt like I wanted to touch on the past life comment that you had made.
Good.
And I felt like I went through past life regressions and hypnotism, and I felt like it was a way for me to see from the outside, looking at myself,
Right.
what I needed to change in my future life, rather than experiencing the life. It was more that I was able to view and come up with a plan more for this life.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
100%. So let me share with everybody what Bonnie's talking about, you guys, is when we do, if you're familiar with meditation or guided meditation, it's close your eyes, walk down the path, feel the dirt, feel the sand, be on the beach. Isn't it beautiful? And now they ask you kind of in different versions to walk through a door, and where do you see yourself? And typically we can bring up past life energy memories from our soul, or we can even bring up future life memories. Like, our soul is eternal, so this isn't a difficult thing. The challenge with most people is they get fearful, right? They get nervous that it's going to be scary. And what I try to teach people is really, you're just watching a movie. So what she just described is so brilliant, because it's exactly what happens. You're watching a movie of your energy, and you see yourself and you go, oh, that's what happened. Oh, I don't want to do that again. Really? I had to do that. I don't want to do that again. And it starts healing the soul, realizing it's not now.
You see how you are in this life exactly like that one. You're like, wow, like that's right. Really what I need to.
Right. So it open up a healing kind of catharsis more in your heart and soul? Like, were you sitting more there?
What's that?
Did it sit a little bit more kind of in your heart, like in a soul level of like, I feel better what I need to see, as opposed to trying to see everything and fix everything in my life? It's just like, oh, I can work.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's more, it made it more pinpointable.
Okay. So then if we were to ask where your Chiron sits, where does your Chiron sit in your chart? In what house? What number? What slice?
I can't remember. On my phone. I think it's number 6.
In the 6th house? Okay.
Maybe. Let me look. Does that tell you?
It's in your, it looks like it's in your 10th house.
My 10th?
It's in your 10th house.
You would look on the transit, correct?
Oh, not transit. So we're looking at your natal chart in your birth chart.
Oh, in the birth chart. That would be my transit.
Yeah, we don't want your transit. We want your birth chart.
Okay. Got it.
And so in your birth chart, if you look at it from that perspective, you'll be able to see where your Chiron is hitting, and it's probably hitting in an area that's affecting you. I'm looking at you right now. It's actually, yes, in your 6th house of part of health.
I was right. Yay.
Okay, she was right, everybody. So
I've been studying it, trying to learn.
You're bringing this up. So those of you who are asking again, if you were trying to figure out where your chart was, I remember I used time passages. You can put it on your phone, and she's been learning. And so what's really cool about that is, so when in the past life energy, there's a karmic loop she's been playing. Now, was part of the past life regarding your health?
It was regarding everything. Like,
the part that you saw that you could make a change?
No, it was in my actions.
Oh, being of service. So that 6th house, yes, everybody, where her Chiron sits, is the work and service and health house. And when you over-service,
I was sick at the time, though. I was very sick.
Okay, so she overgives and overserves. She's a chiropractor, so clearly she's doing a lot of, to me, I would call that a servicing profession, right? And so, and I'm not just saying in your profession, Bonnie is a healer at heart. So Bonnie, we have to tie her arms up and tell her no and say, no, right? And so the gift is that the doctor and the healer in you wants to heal and be of service, yet there's a part of you that has to do the same back to yourself. So Chiron's saying, your superpower is to help people heal, but not to do it all yourself. You got to heal you, not them.
Well, people heal themselves, and doctors just guide them.
You got it.
What it is, and the energy that we all have, we're all just a separate balls of energy, is the way I kind of describe it to my patients. And when some energies come together, sometimes they collide like two batteries that negate each other, or they come together nice and strong, like two batteries. So getting that energy balanced is very hard within yourself, let alone yourself with your family and others.
Exactly. And with Chiron and Aries is all about self-value and self-worth. So I'm not saying you fix people, but you're offering so much of you and
Mhm.
your tools, shall I say, to help them,
Yeah.
that there isn't a lot of you left. And so your self value goes down because
Exactly.
you're tired, right? And so I'm not
Yeah.
saying you're not valuable, but the value
Yeah.
of your energy
Yeah.
is depleted. Yeah. And so,
Absolutely. The value you give yourself, the
yes,
plate.
yes. And so this is a really good way to explain this to people, is that, guys, we're all energy, right? And so when we replay this energy, whether you go look at it through a past life, whether you go look at it through my infinite loop meditation, and you don't need to see the past life, but you see the energy where you're replaying, or whether you go look at Chiron in your astrology chart, the point I'm trying to make here is Bonnie made it to show you all, it shows in all these different areas that are the same topic for each of us. My Chiron is not there, right? So I don't have that same, I have Chiron in Aries, but it's not in my 6th house, it's in my 11th house. So as much as I love helping all of you and being on stage, I don't love being on stage. So it's funny, you all draw me out, and it's a good thing for me, because my superpower when I'm here is giving you all this amazing gifts of knowledge and here and learning, yet this isn't my favorite place, because I was bullied as a kid, right? In groups and being on stage, I got bullied, and I was very shut down and kind of almost like a hermit myself, right? So this goes against my childhood wound. And so for you as a child, was there a lot of service, or was there a lot of health wounds? Which was it?
I would say service.
Yeah, overgiving.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I worked since I was 7.
Well, there you go, guys. See,
But it was normal for me, so whatever.
So does that help you see where the past life now is correlating, even in your chart where the overlapping's happening?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because in my past lives, I was always standing back on the sidelines, watching what was going on, but making sure everybody was okay. There was always a lot of children, watching children, things like that, watching over the community, but just kind of in the shadows.
Sure.
This life, I am not doing that.
No, you're not. Cool. So any other questions that came up besides the past life?
I don't think so. I like your new idea, that 30 minutes.
30-minute now. It's helpful. It's helpful only because it keeps me directed on, it's okay to do this, because I'm very multitasking, like a lot of other people.
Yes.
I get all this done, right? And
Absolutely.
for me, I know I'll get it all done, but if I just do it for 30 minutes, this is more of a permission thing than a have to thing. Like, it's okay, Dawn, for you and I, maybe it might be a little bit more potent in it's okay, Dawn, to lay down for 30 minutes, right? Like I'm like, I'm not going to take a rest. So
yeah.
For me, the 30-minute now is, it's okay if you do it, just do it for 30 minutes. And then after that, you can decide something else. Mm-hmm. So maybe that is something you have to start incorporating in the body.
Absolutely. Everybody on this call.
And my husband, I want to see the actual 30-minute happening with him.
Oh, Tony?
Yeah, no, with your husband.
Oh, my husband. Oh, good Lord.
Mike, if you're on this call, we will be expecting 30 minutes.
He's on this call.
At a time.
He's laughing, I'm sure.
Yeah, we can get him to rest a little bit. So
Mike.
Cool. Thank you so much, Bonnie. That was awesome. I appreciate it.
Later.
Perfect question. I'll see you later. Bye, honey. All right, let me put Bonnie up here. And move her back. All right, guys. So any questions that anyone has left? We have like 2 minutes here. More than happy, if you're on the Zoom call, feel free to throw it in the chat regarding past lives. Past lives is hard for people because we're so attached. Remember I told you about the body? We're so attached to this, to the thing, the skin, the body that we're, the vessel that you're in. And the soul is so beautiful. It's so beautiful and it's so powerful and it's so eternal. And this is what I keep saying, you're God energy. You are source energy. You are an eternal soul. You never die. This one we neglect, and we can put more energy into it to make it powerful too, but the soul needs your attention. It wants your attention. It wants to feel better, guys. It wants to grow. And so whether you know planets or not, I know I bring them up for a lot of you who want to understand them and see where the universe is affecting us. But remember, it's real simple. Like each planet is taking their wand and sprinkling on us. And sometimes it's, again, sparkly glitter, and sometimes it's raging big heavy boulders that scare us. Why? To scare us to wake up. That's what's happening. You're all waking up. You're all taking back your power, and Chiron's going to push you guys for a while. Oh, let me get Bonnie fixed here real quick. Hold on. There we go. So that is tonight. That is our call. Any questions? Anyone who is on the live call on Facebook, I'm going to start suggesting all of you joining on these calls to jump on my Zoom registration. It just reminds you, and you guys can log into the Zoom. It's a lot easier because I'm going to start moving this over to my other locked closed groups. It's still open. It's still free to all of you. You're still welcome to get in anytime you want, but it is going to get locked out for those who are members. And I'm going to start pushing you guys a little harder. So get ready. Badass Dawn has come back to life, and she wants you guys to thrive. I want you guys to be empowered. And the way that happens is by me sharing things that might be uncomfortable for you. And although they might be uncomfortable for you, they make you stronger. And the stronger you all are, the happier I am, because then you're empowered, which means you're embodied in your power, and your power is inside of you, which means I can trust that you can all go out and badass yourself into the world and create brilliant, amazing light for people. Because that's all we're asked to do right now, is to go within, fill your soul with light, and be lighthouses. Shine it with everybody. Shine your light to the world. That's what's really, really crucial right now. Nothing else. You don't need to do more, expect more, get on your 30-minute now plan and fill you up, whatever that is, whether it's your career, whether it's like Bonnie and your health and your service, whether it's taking care of you, it's got to be in here and not out there. All right. So that is the end of our call. It was so cool to see so many of you guys on this call tonight. I loved seeing you. I love seeing all of you. Remember, I am blessing you all from the grid. I pour hearts on you every day. And I wish you blessings and light, brightest blessings. I will see you soon. Take care.